And welcome, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Satsang for the Soul with the incredible Lee Green, who is tuning in from the Philippines. And I am Mark Bentley, tuning in from Perth in Western Australia. And so this is our weekly session. You can get us at the same time every week, where we come together and really just share breath together, to share spirit together and reconnect with the soul and look at the themes of life and the evolution of consciousness through the lens of the Mayan Dreamspell. So with that said, welcome, Lee. How are you doing this morning?
It's a good morning. How are you doing?
I'm feeling really good today. I'm feeling really good. And I'm really looking forward to getting a bit of grounding with your music, my dear. Have you got a song for us today?
Yellow Sun Wave Spell, and so here's a song called Sunlight. Sunlight, sunlight, sunlight. Where I am, the sun is hiding behind the clouds, but it is there. Waiting for the sunlight, waiting for the day. I'm tired of this old light. Carry me away. There's no room for darkness to loom, for there's a light in the sky, high above the moon, high above the moon, bright as the night sky, kind as a warm heart. You're gonna go beyond far. That is who you are, that is who you are. There's no room for darkness to loom, for there's a light in the sky, high above the moon, high above the moon. It's calling you, yeah, would you believe what I say? Though it seems to be the light has made it through, yeah, oh, this is the day. There's no darkness through the night, and oh, while we're waiting for the sunlight, and no more waiting for the day. I'm tired of this old light. Carry me away. Carry me away. Carry me away. Sunlight, sunlight, carry me away. So wherever you are, feel the light of the sun high above the sky. See if you can connect to the source of this light. It connects us to the source of the universe. And as we bring our awareness to this light, existed throughout time. See if you can bring your awareness into the same light that lives inside of us, that lives in our heart. And just like the sun, our light is always there. It's the light that we carry from life to life. And may we continuously tend to this light again and again and again and again. Sunlight, 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 carry me away.
I want to start by saying how grateful I am, Lee, how super grateful I am for you, for your voice, for your music. Like you say, it doesn't matter if there's clouds in the sky. If you live in a smog-filled, polluted city, it's, the sun's still there. The light still shines, and it's shining out of each of us. I really felt that in those words.
Oh,
So here we
to
are.
that.
Here we are yet again.
Namaste is what they say in India. That translates to the light inside of me honors the light inside of you. And so we begin this day with light. Perhaps we begin this day with lightness in our hearts.
Absolutely. As I was listening to you sing, it made me think of this old analogy of consciousness, of what is consciousness, what is the human experience, and as you said, this light, it carries through from life to life. And if we think back to the old cinemas, right, where a movie was a reel of film, and that reel of film was essentially just little photographs in a line. And though even there, that film was it held, in a sense, this framework that they would then project the light through. So the projector would have that bright globe, right? And so then that globe would project the light through the film onto a blank screen. And that film would then come to life, and then would move that film at a rapid pace in front of that light. And we would see this illusion of life playing out in front of us, right? That was the magic of cinema, and still is. And, when we think of that as an analogy for consciousness, in a way that really touches home for me about, the simplest way of understanding the human experience is that we are essentially, what we see in this world, a reality around us, in front of us. And when I put my hand, right in front here, this is a projection of consciousness shining through my film, in a sense, into my reality of what I see. And the more pure and the more present and the more clear we can be, it's like cleaning that film, right? Polishing the film up, getting all the dirt and the dust that's gathered over the years out, so that consciousness, God, however you want to think of it, I think of consciousness, light in its purest form. We can call it God, you can call it any Allah, you can call it any name you like. But in the end, it's light. And it's that light coming from consciousness. You know, the God form, whatever you want to think, the God figure is like the projector at the center of the galaxy, of the cosmos, shining this light. The sun is like the closest element of that projector. And then it's like our DNA is like the lens, you know, not the, is like the film, you know. And so that light comes through our DNA and then shines through our DNA. And depending on what frequency, whether the shadow, the gift, or the city, you know, if we're running from fear, then the light of consciousness shines through our DNA and projects our survival mechanisms, this thrill, you know, it's that scary part of the movie where we get all tense. But because we know it's a movie, we love it. We want that tenseness in a movie. But often we forget that life is a movie. We forget that it's just consciousness streaming through us. We are all one, you know, and so we take it all too serious, which brings us right back to what you said. Let's start with lightness, because in the end,
Beautiful.
it's not that serious.
Yeah.
Hey, Lee, I just want to acknowledge Maria Young has tuned in on YouTube. Hey, Maria, good to see you there. She said, hey, glad to be back. So we're glad you're back
Hey,
too,
Maria.
And before we go deeper into the conversation, Lee, Maria, we always like to have somebody we do a free little mini reading for towards the end of the session. So if you'd like that to be you, we just need your date of birth. So if you want to chuck that in the chat, we would love to give that to you at the end of the session, towards the end. And now let's get to the juicy.
Wonderful. Amazing. I love that we begin with projection, because light in itself is also a projection. And it's a projection of the one, with a capital O, the one who is the unnameable one, the one with 1,000 names, the one that sits everywhere, the one that is dreaming all of this and expressing all of this in each one of us. And when you began with how life is an expression like a script that is projected on like a movie, wouldn't it be incredible if we all remember that all the time? And I think it will help free us or enlighten us. Enlighten in the sense of lighten us up, so we're not really carrying so many heavy baggage day after day or life after life after life. The recognition that life is a movie and we have the ability to rewrite the story, and we are not the victims of life, but it's our choice if we want to become victors of life.
Absolutely. You know, as you say, the script, Lee, it's, you know, as you know, it's, I come from the performer background, and the stage, you know, I'm a Leo at heart, and the stage is a place I find very comfortable and I've loved. And it makes me think of, you know, the way I used to describe my sessions, you know. And by the way, for those that don't know, Lee and I both offer sessions of our own kinds to help people find their light, find their purpose, to reconnect, which we might even touch on, Lee, towards the end. But one of the ways I used to describe what I did is to help connect people to their script, right? So an actor has a script. You get a script, and an actor's role is to interpret that script through their own lens, which is why different actors will bring different scripts to life in different ways. It's why it's so important when you choose your actor that they really are in alignment with the script, and that they have the right characteristics to bring it alive. And so with what you're sharing, it made me think of that in the sense that everyone has their script. It's written in your DNA, right? So your script is your script, but how you express your script, that's up to you, right? That's your freedom. That's your sovereignty. That's your power, how you express it. And, you know, if you just imagine for like a tangible, feelable sense of this, if you've ever seen an amateur actor who is absolutely, pardon my expression, shitting themselves when they get on stage, watch how they read the script, right? It's jolted, it's stressful, it's tense. Even as an audience, you're like, oh, this is painful to watch, right? And it's like, someone put them out of their misery, like help them out here. This is rough, right? But then when you see someone who is so surrendered to their script, they embrace it. They don't see it as how come I have to play this character? I don't want to play this. I want to be the lead, or I want to be that, or I want to be this. But rather they go, oh, okay, that's my character. I'm going to bring it to life. And they surrender into it and they give it everything. And when you watch an actor like that, you feel yourself come wide open. You go there with them and you feel safe to take that journey with them. And it's this beautiful thing. And so, as you say, script, it really is that thing that, yeah, you've got your script, you've got your situation, but you've got a choice of how you read that script.
That speaks to the energy of this wave spell, which is called the yellow sun, which is the number 20 archetype, or number 0. It's
the beginning and the end.
The beginning and the end, the alpha and the omega, the independence in its own sovereign expression, not needing anything or anyone, stands or shines solid, exists in its own. And I love the way to look at it as a reminder of our own independence, that it's there, that we just need to tap into it if we feel somehow, dejected, or, our self-confidence is down, or things have happened in our life that makes us feel like you have no power, you have no confidence to get up and do something with your life or create some change. The archetype of the sun is, in a way, the power is in shining, but it's not doing anything. It's just being the sun.
Good discernment. I like that.
And I've seen a lot, and I've met a few yellow sun people, and their archetype, I have a sister who's a yellow sun, who's a joker. But really what she does is when she walks into the room, she really lights up the space.
Yeah.
Because she's got a lightness about her that you just can't help but be drawn to that and laugh. And all of a sudden, whatever is happening becomes so light because you can laugh about it. It's like, okay. And so there's so many themes that plays around the archetype of yellow sun, independence, lightness, sovereignty. And it's a magical being, I'd say.
Absolutely. As you're describing that, your friend and the way she comes into the room and can light the place up, it reminds me of, with the yellow sun archetype, something that I've seen in it is this energy, this archetype is, very resonant with the concept of holding space, right? So those that have worked in the healing community, healing world, around what it takes, and it doesn't matter if we're talking energetic healing, this kind of spiritual kind of take on it, or if you're talking psychology, right? And therapy. In order for a therapist to be able to do their job, they need to make you feel safe first. Because if their client doesn't feel safe, then they won't open up. They won't be able to go deep enough. They won't be able to heal. And to me, the yellow sun is like that sacred, masculine, like divine father archetype. Or, that I remember when I was a boy, no matter, I've got my father stories and all the different things, no one's had perfect upbringings and all the rest, but no matter how much I had struggles with different things as a child, and that the one thing I knew is that whenever my father was nearby, I even get a little bit emotional feeling this, I felt safe. I felt like anything was possible, that I was okay, even though that wasn't really the truth, because maybe it wasn't the situation. That presence. And interestingly, I'm just dawning on me, my father is actually a yellow galactic sun. Incredible man. And blessed to have him as a father. And he really was that sun archetype. And there was the shadow of the sun, the overly, do instead of just be. But the one thing I have to give him absolutely was that he made me feel safe. And that's something that I feel is so important, is if we're going to get along as a community in this world, on this timeship Earth that is flying through the universe at a speed that is incomprehensible to the everyday person, we are spinning around like a marble through space, incredibly dangerous with all this stuff flying around. And we don't even realize that bit. We're worried about the stuff on the planet, which is already crazy. If we're going to be able to do this together, then we need to find, how can we stand in our power, stand in our independence, as you're bringing up there, yet without hurting others, without threatening others? Like, how can we do that while still making others feel safe? How can I turn up in a conversation with you, Lee, possibly with a different perspective, a different opinion? Because that's important. Otherwise, we'll never evolve. We need different opinions to come together and mix, right? That's alchemy. How do we do that without making it feel like I'm coming in to try and beat you, or I'm trying to win, or I'm trying to threaten you? What does that mean? To me, that's what this yellow sun wave spell is really bringing up in me, is how can we have very different perspectives and opinions, but still be really present and help make each other feel safe,
Something that we have through the years, I guess, been forgetting how to conduct ourselves in a community, in a village. And I think this is truly one of the sickness of the modern man, this sense of perhaps the root would be disconnection. And the ancient peoples lived in villages, and they belong. They are known from the time of that they were born till they're growing up, till they get married, till they have children, grandchildren, and they die. So there is accountability because you are seen. Therefore, and this is still, I think, existing in the culture of Bali. I think that's really what makes that island and its people really beautiful and amazing to experience, to be in their frequency. Because they still remember that information that's been passed down from generation to generation. They still remember the ceremonies, although it's with modernization, and maybe some of the younger ones are perhaps not interested in the ceremonies anymore. It's still alive. The culture is still alive from the beginning of time. They still carry the traditions, and I see that as light being passed on. The light has never become cloudy. it's like the information has been passed on from generation to generation to generation to generation, and it's that important information that carries a piece of the bigger puzzle for a community to thrive or for a community to exist in harmony. And I think, we've spent good time, a good amount of time in Bali for us to, I mean, I'm sure you feel what I'm talking about. It's a resonance that they
Absolutely.
hold. It's
Absolutely.
not just the land itself, because the land also has energy, but also, it is the people of Bali that makes up that resonance.
Yeah. I remember, Lee, like, you'd stay, whether you're staying at hotels or wherever you were there, that, you know, every morning, afternoon, like they would have their times, that rituals where they would come out and they were all doing their ritual, offerings. And no matter where you went, it was happening, the restaurants, the cafes, the thing. And it's almost like that's a circuitry, right? Like for those that are watching this that, are into technology and understand electronics and circuitry, it's almost like the organic circuitry. And when you talk about connectedness and being disconnected, you know, in a way, I feel like as humanity in our villages, our communities, we're circuits. We all play a part in a circuit board, which is the village or the community. And you see that in these places like Bali, where they're very shamanic, kind of earthy energy, really has these rituals to stay connected no matter what happens.
Mm.
And if that disconnection breaks, which is like, social media, technology, everyone looking at their phones all the time, that they suddenly you have this synthetic relationship with somebody across the planet, a very superficial kind of, like, it's very easy to be love and light with somebody that's on the other side of the planet on a screen. It makes an escape route where people lose their connection to their circuit, their grounding with their family, with their tribe, with their home. And that circuit is kind of what powers the light projector, right, in our being. And what does that lead to? Depression. What is depression? A lack of light,
Mm. Mm.
And so it really does come back,
Wow. Depression is, as somebody has said, in its root, it's a sense of disconnection to its
Mm,
surroundings and disconnection to itself. And you wonder why, people that, just like indigenous peoples, or peoples that still maintain the culture, the cultural traditions and such, these diseases, these mental health imbalances does not exist so much, because there is that sense of connection with the everyday life.
mm,
There is
yeah.
that connection with spirit, and there is that connection with the self, the connection with the home, the connection with the community. And today,
Mm,
where we are, like you are in Perth and I am in the Philippines, in Metro Manila, we are already in the third day of the yellow sun wave spell, which is called the white electric wind. Wind, the spirit, communicate. And our communication with spirit through breath, they don't even call it meditation, people from Bali, or um, people from Thailand. It's just a way of life for them. It's not like I'm gonna go and announce to the world that today I'm gonna meditate this week, or today, or it's my meditation time, and take a photograph of myself sitting and meditating and post it, and hey, I'm meditating. It's because to them it is a way of life. We are not doing something out of the ordinary. And also because everybody else is
mm,
doing that, there's no feeling of, I guess the feeling is just everybody just does it as a way of life, that is woven into the fabric of life. itself. You know, meditation. They don't, there's not even a label for it. It's just a daily practice. And it's that connection to spirit that connects us to that light. When we feel disconnected to light, we are disconnected to our own spirit, perhaps. And when we look at the shadow, or not the shadow, the strength or the antipode, because shadow, shadow is in the Gene Keys work. In the Mayan Dreamspell, it's called an antipode, which is a challenge. It just simply means that in the 20 archetypes of the dream spell, that this archetype sits the farthest from you. Therefore, it creates this polar opposite from you. Therefore, it creates that, in a way, it's like one essence. It's like a pair of, like a yin and yang. It's like they both belong in that circle, but they have an equal cut of each other, and they are just separated in an equal distance. And so is the other 10 archetypes that dances with other 10 archetypes. And together they make up 20 archetypes of the Mayan Dreamspell. And so the archetype that we're talking about, the yellow sun, is dancing with a white dog. You have a yellow sun that is independent, like the cosmic father energy. You know, sometimes we can't reason with our fathers. It's just that sense of sovereign authority, in a sense that, you know, don't really question it.
Yeah.
Not in a negative or positive way. And then there is the white dog, which is the opposite of it, right? The challenge, which is the yellow sun could be so strong that sometimes it forgets to just open up the heart and let somebody in, let people in, crack it open a little bit, because the sun is all about, no, I don't need anyone. And then the opposite of it is the dog, and the dog says, I can't live on my own. I need someone.
Absolutely.
And so it's this perfect dance that we are seeing together. It's kind of like they're looking at each other in the mirror and like, you're what I need and you're what I need. So how can we work together and become each other's strength? And this has been, I guess, part of the conversations that we've been having throughout all the episodes of Satsang for the Soul so far. I think we've been diving a lot into the challenge perspective of whatever wave spell that we are decoding or observing for the week, right? And it's amazing to really bring our attention to the dog archetype, which is when you have love in your heart, there's no need to be taking other people's sovereignty and controlling them and imposing in this patriarchal, toxic masculine way of oppressing, the need to have power over. But if there is love, and you can see this I'll just use a man, for example. A man who is secured in his manliness or manhood, a man that is connected to his heart, understands his connection to everything, is so strong yet so soft, and does not need to control a woman or a partner or anyone for that matter. And this is what makes up powerful chiefs in the past, chiefs of the villages. You know, you're a warrior, but you're soft at heart. You have justice. You understand, and you're not just blinded by power, but it's the power of love and your heart that is guiding you as the leader.
Yeah, Leah, hits a spot right there. You know, it's as you're sharing that, it brings up this vision I used to get as I was going through a lot of this process, of exploring these concepts, and it was like of trying to get clear on what is the role of the masculine and the feminine, and playing with these archetypes and the visuals, and I'm a very visual thinker these days. And it's like, and when we say these masculine and feminine, for example, I believe it starts inside. In fact, Kelly Rowland, a mutual friend of ours who does the Mayan Dreamspell work on Facebook, who took over the page that I started up on there, I saw her doing a live about this, talking about some of these concepts as well, and just yesterday. So it seems like it's really strongly in the field in lots of different ways. But, it was, part of it was, talking about relationships, that a lot of people are looking for the masculine and the feminine outside of themselves in relationship, right? And they end up with this codependent relationship, which is a fairly unhealthy thing in the long term. And in survival needs, that's just what we need, is codependent relationships in survival times. But, once we get out of that, if we want to thrive, we need to become interdependent. And part of that key is like, we need to get that masculine and feminine inside ourselves first, strong, looking after each other, looking after ourselves. So we don't need a masculine or feminine outside of ourselves to look after us, in that we're not looking for a father figure in our partner or a mother figure in our partner, which is quite a common thing. And once our inner child is kind of cared for there, then we can start that healthier interaction. And the vision that was coming to me as you were talking was, I think I was possibly on ayahuasca or something in some wild, wonderful world when I saw this vision, and it brought me to tears in my knees. And it was seeing the divine feminine as being, it was like in this temple, right? And in the temple, the feminine was in the temple, and the masculine was at the door, the gate to the temple, right? The entry to the temple. And the masculine was there with the spear, like a Spartan soldier. The Spartan warriors were fierce warriors. They were like, and they would be there. And the masculine would stand, disciplined, not moving. Meanwhile, the feminine, feeling protected, feeling safe of, that the gate is cared for, that the role is being played, would be naked, vulnerable, open, dancing, moving in that really sensual, open, delicious kind of magical, where pure creativity is birthed from, right? Because and it feels safe. And so a healthy masculine stands at the doorway and stands in service to that feminine, feeling like I'm doing my thing. I used to get upset when people would go, I can open, if I opened the door for a girl when I was a teenager. I was very romantic and sensitive new age guy, sickeningly so at times when I think back on it. But I remember when I would open the door for a girl, and every now and then you'd get one that would say, I can do it myself. And it's like, as I got older, I dropped into that, and I thought, of course you can. And in a way, it's more for me. Can you please let me do it? Because it gives me purpose. It helps me feel like I'm in service. It helps me feel like I'm fulfilling my role. And in honoring you, not that you need me to, not that you can't do it yourself, And so there's that masculine standing at the gate, which allows the feminine to feel divinely free. And that is the masculine's reward. Nothing more. Not to go get laid afterwards and all that other crap that comes with the unhealthy masculine, but to be in service. And that masculine doesn't go looking for a fight. But if a fight comes to the gate, if someone comes to the gate wanting to get through, to sneak into that, take advantage of that vulnerable, beautiful, sensitive energy, then that Spartan masculine at the front will stop it. It will fight if it needs to. It will play its role of whatever it needs, but it won't go looking for the fight. And to me, that was the difference that I came to for myself, of the difference between a healthy masculine, unhealthy masculine. The unhealthy masculine gets restless. This isn't enough. And they either take a little peeks over their shoulder, wanting to see what the feminine's up to, wanting to see, the sensuality, wanting to be tempted into that, which then means he becomes the threat to the sensuality. Or that masculine then wants to go out and pick a fight. It sees someone in the distance and goes, "What are you looking at this?" And they stir a fight because they feel like it's not enough to be just in service, in that discipline, in that space. And that was something that I think I chewed on for many years and still am, to really drop into and explore. But it was something that just felt so visceral and so tangible for me, as a visual of how that can play out.
It's so beautiful. So many things you said too that's food for thought. I think this is really what this space is all about. I also love these moments of silence in our conversation sometimes. Just letting the information really land. And there's comfort in this silence. It's that space where we can breathe, take it in. White wind aspect. Just
when you said the white
breath.
electric wind, Lee, my heart lit up. And I thought of the Maori, the Maori in New Zealand. And they have this sacred ritual that has been throughout their ages. I love seeing them with their tattoo faces and everything. And they go forehead to forehead and nose to nose. And the most potent, respectful thing that you can do is to share breath together, to share that white wind, to share that breath. No words are necessary. It's that. And then you feel that person's spirit. Because if you show me your spirit, then I can trust you. We can disagree on everything under the world. But if you're hiding your spirit, then I'm not sure what I'm dealing with.
Wow. That is beautiful. May the wisdom of the ancients really come forward to guide us into our future. Everything that we have to do, we already know. We just really have to remember. And it's not a new age thing to say. There is no new age. There's only one age. It's only one arrow of time in this physical world. Arrow of time because it's just moving forward. It's linear in its expression. And it's the same time that has been going on and on, just different clocks. But it's the same time that we have been tracking since we have ever started to learn how to track time and bring time to a physical dimension by putting it in a structure, that there is a present, past, and future. But the ancient peoples have known that time in itself is vertical, where it's just the ever present now. And I just wanted to honor all the indigenous peoples all over the world. And in a way, we are all indigenous. But I don't want to take away from that. It doesn't take away from what we are celebrating, which is the Indigenous Peoples Day. And there is retribution. There is an acknowledgement that needs to happen for all of us to heal the wounds of the past. And this is what the yellow sun represents. Light is information. Living in the dark ages is living in a misinformed fake news world where history has been erased. And I love that play of the word history because it's his story.
Mm.
And that history has always been written by the victorious ones. But what about the history of the truth? And we have been carrying all of this for millennia, hundreds, thousands of years. Uh, a race of people who still have not yet found the thread that connects us all together. And the indigenous people, they understand their relationship with everything and everyone, that we are all related. But something happened along the way that there was this amnesia, and there is this conquering that started to happen, and this conquering have led to violence and taking and pressing and controlling and raping and all this energy. And if we don't recognize and start to really acknowledge the harm that has been done, we are still far from healing, because we all understand that the process of healing is simply bringing things to wholeness, and sometimes it begins with acknowledging the wounds first. And with that, I really just wanted to honor all of our indigenous brothers and sisters for all the atrocities that have been done. And we carry that wound, and we will continue to carry that wound and continue to replay what our forefathers have done until our generation breaks that curse. And so today we call the light of the sun, come and be with us. Come and inform our consciousness with the purest light. Purify our minds. Shine light in the darkest places inside of us. Allow us to see. And allow us to see through the eyes of the heart. Father, Son, continue to fill us with light, with life. And we give thanks for this life-giving power. The sun is the fire. And may the ancient fires that have been burning through thousands of years continue to burn in our hearts. And may all that needs to be transformed be burned into this fire, so that we can start a new tomorrow for our peoples here on this planet. Mm.
My dear, it's very beautiful. Thank you. I really, really appreciate you, Lee, and everything you bring into the table. Really enjoying doing this work together with you and helping reconnect. And I appreciate you helping me soften my masculine. It's a nice reminder. I love coming into these sessions together where we find that balance, and we can move around each other and trust each other to find that flow. And yeah, it's such a blessing.
Oh, here to
Now
reflect all that beauty back to you.
Now, being
Do we have
aware,
anyone?
we do. We have the delightful Maria Young, who is with us, and she has given us her date of birth. And it was actually Maria's birthday, 27th of September, so not long ago. So happy birthday, Maria.
All right.
And
27th of September.
so I've popped it into the thing. So Maria, I hope you're still watching. If you're not, the replay, it will be there eternally waiting for you. If you are still with us, pop it in the chat, let us know. But we'll jump in and do a little mini reading. And
Mhm.
and so anyone watching, when we do these mini readings, we're really just looking from the top, an eagle eye perspective, very briefly, just giving a little nugget of what your Mayan dream spell signature represents. Within that is a sacred mathematical code that essentially contains the secrets to all of the different aspects of who you are, what you're here for, and what your deepest soul purpose is, the challenges that are there to strengthen you and how to move forward in them. And this is something that that Lee will mention afterwards. We'll be offering through BitClout that you can now get a session with Lee. There's an NFT on your page, Lee Grain. So make sure to check out Lee Grain. Follow her if you're not. We're not finishing yet, but I just wanted to give this shout out, Lee, so people know what it is that you're offering. And yeah, please do check it out and take her up on that offer. Lee, you're an incredible musician. You're an incredible healer. You're a wise woman of your own. You are just an amazing human being and a dear friend. And I would love to see, you know, the community on BitClout supporting you in any way they can, and prove the proof of concept of what BitClout's all about, giving creators the power to shine their light even brighter. And the more you support this incredible woman in front of you here, the more you're going to see her bringing this magic to the platform. The more the platform wins, the more we all win. So with that being said, Lee,
Making me cry.
yay.
Let's dive into Maria's archetype.
Yeah. Now that I've just shaken you up, cracked you open, let's jump into Maria. So what's really interesting, Lee, I'll give you a few moments to gather yourself while I introduce her Mayan Dreamspell signature. Yep, and Maria's still here. Fantastic. So Maria, your Mayan Dreamspell signature is the white rhythmic wind. Here, I tell you what, I'll screen share so that you can actually see your signature. So this is the symbol that represents the white rhythmic wind, your galactic Mayan archetype, the Dreamspell archetype, number 162. The white wind is this cheeky face with the tongue, which represents the priestess archetype. And then you have that bar across the top with the dot. That's the rhythmic tone. So the white rhythmic wind in the wave spell of the earth, the red earth wave spell, which the red earth wave spell represents the overall reason you're playing your role. And so just briefly, I'll give a quick spin and hand it to you, Lee. The white rhythmic wind in the wave spell of the red earth, your role in a nutshell, Maria, is to be this balancing force in helping reconnect to the language of the earth. To ground into helping through your own process. And I'll read the little meditation that comes with this. I organize in order to communicate, balancing breath. I seal the input of spirit with rhythmic tone of equality. I am guided by the power of my own power doubled. And are you ready, Lee, to take it on from there?
Rhythmic wind. So Maria, rhythmic is the tone, which is the way it's expressed. And rhythmic is to organize. Do you find that you like things organized, or you like to put things together and organize things in the physical world, maybe events, maybe your family, maybe these different aspects? Rhythmic, very self-guided, and just like what Mark Bentley said, this archetype is the archetype of priestess, in the sense that the white wind is like the hollow bamboo. And it's Fasumi who uses this analogy of hollow bamboo. It's through her that I've heard this. If you've seen bamboos in real life, the way the wind can really come inside the bamboo because it's hollow inside, and it can really, allow it to move and sway when all of those areas in the bamboo has been hollowed. So it's you are just like the bamboo, which is the empty container. And when we connect with our breath, it's really spirit that animates the actions. And so I think a lot of the white wind people that I had the honor to decode or read, they're excellent communicators. They're excellent at, if there's a miscommunication, they are the perfect people to put in that position to really communicate the essence of what, for example, in a company, what you're trying to say, this person can communicate that. Or in a family, this person can be the person that really mediates, allow whatever it is that can be communicated. And that's the white wind. And so, noticing also in yourself, Maria, see how you are connected to your deep breaths, because that's when we start to really recognize when we are acting from our spirit or from our mind. Because when we're just breathing shallow, like in this first chamber only, or just here in the chest, it's very shallow breath. And so we're only accessing this upper chambers of the body, which is the mind. But it's cliche, before you make a decision, you take a nice deep breath and let the spirit inform uh, your actions. And there is that slowing down that happens when we take that deep breath. Because the mind and the breath are one. And in it's the Bhagavad Gita, an ancient text in India that says, Krishna says, the mind and the breath are one. And so if you want to calm the mind, if you want to slow the chatter of the mind, the anxiety and all the things in the mind, you work with your breath. You slow that breath down. Slow inhale and slow exhale. It really automatically, instantaneously slows your heartbeat and slows the entire nervous system, even just for a moment. So, white wind, spirit tone, you organize. This is like what Mark Bentley said, organize in order to communicate, balancing breath. I seal the input of spirit with the rhythmic tone of equality, guided by your own power double. And the purpose, Red Earth, is to navigate. Essence is evolve and synchronicity. When there are people with this purpose, it's allowing spirit to help navigate your organization to create balance in the physical life through your work or through the events that you do and just through you being you. The purpose is how to, are you connected to your own inner compass, following your own north node? And perhaps if you don't find that you are connected to the breath, then it's simply when you take that deep breath, that connection, things slow down and helps to connect with that inner compass that the red earth represents, that turtle that knows just where to go for the purpose of to evolve.
You're magically. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria.
Yeah, thank you, Maria, for
In a
being
nutshell.
willing to take part. Yeah. Well, it's always that tricky thing, right, Lee? It's when we do these as little nutshells, like both Lee and I, we are very passionate in our work, and we as soon as we get something like your signature, it's very challenging sometimes to not dive deeper because all those codes show so much, and it's like, where's the nut? Like, what's the nutshell, right? So You did fantastic, and hopefully that gave you a little taste, Maria. And if it's something that you're interested in, you can always see. In fact, Lee, I'll just screen share quickly again, and then maybe
go for it.
I'm just noticed we've come to the end of the hour, so it might be the perfect time to move into the last song to close up. But I'll just screen share now. This is, and Lee, massive respect for taking the initiative and discovering, looking for how do you create an NFT. You just went and did this, you've worked it out. It shows that you don't need someone to give you permission. You just need to step up and use that yellow sun energy, right? And I was like smiling, grinning like a little kid last night when you sent me the link last night, the WhatsApp message. And I saw that you'd done that. You just said, you know what, I don't need to get someone to tell me everything how to do. I'm going to go find it out. You know, you got your clues, you got your pointers from me of which way it could go. And then you just went and you found it and you made it happen. So anyone that's watching this, if you're interested in getting a session from Lee where she'll go much deeper into your actual galactic signature, opening it up and you know, I mean, not Lee, yeah, I've raved enough, but everyone gets the idea. You've seen her in action. Then you're doing the sessions for a minimum of $50, 50 US dollars. So in order to have a session, you've got 20 NFTs available. All you need to do is place a bid for 50 US dollars or more, and you will get a one-on-one personal reading session. Lee will reach out to you, send you a message on BitCloud and organize the session with you. And what's super awesome here, Lee, that you did is your bid will help support Lee's current energy medicine training that she's doing. And when this training is completed in March, she'll be offering an exclusive Zoom event for the NFT owners. So Lee is also making full use of NFTs and offering the benefits and the exclusives. So definitely recommend taking advantage of this if you resonate with Lee and the way she brings herself to the world. You'll find that on her page at Lee Grain.
You are magic.
What can I say? We're good reflections. All right. Well, from me, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, Maria, for tuning in. Alex, who's also been watching, he threw a comment in there as well, Lee, along the way.
Hey,
Alex Rosen from Clout Forum. Love your support, brother, as always. And Alex, remind me, let's get Lee on for a Who's Got Clout podcast interview sometime soon as well with Clout Forum. That'd be awesome. And with that, I'm done. I love you all. And I'm going to hand you over to Lee to bring us into a nice closing and enjoy this.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, my brother. I was gonna say, you are a light in my life. You are a sun in my life because you have given me so much life that lets me explore all these amazing, juicy things like BitCloud. You brought me into this world. Into this BitCloud universe, which I am just really getting to know, and I didn't realize that it is possible. You know, that kind of avenue for me is giving me life, because for so long, I guess the concept of being supported energetically and monetarily is a concept, or was a concept, until you actually start to really see that manifested in front of you. And this is my realization with BitCloud. And again, that is what's giving me the inspiration to go and reach the dreams that I still have, because it's possible for me to have financial support from people. You know, financial support in the sense that, you know, you're not just donating, but it's in a sense for me, it's like, wow, what it does is an affirmation from the universe that hey, you're supported. You know, hey, you can continue to do the work that you're doing, and you don't need to worry because the world is abundant. And let abundance be an expression in your life. And may abundance be an expression in all of our lives. And it's equally important to have spirituality and money. You know, I mean, in a sense, I want to give thanks to the people who have bought my coins, who've maybe sold it, and I hope that you've made something out of it. And I hope that I can continue to create something that will enrich not just myself, but you as someone who's investing in me. So thank you. And thank you to this brother Mark. You know, you're really a bright, shining star, sun in this platform. And I know you shine so much light to a lot of other people. You deserve all the love.
You, Lee. You're an
Love you
angel.
so much.
Hey, Lee, just before we go on, like, thank you. And I appreciate that beyond words. And I just want to do a little shout out. They've thrown a few messages in here as we're closing.
Go for it.
Zach Mead has said, thanks for tonight. Beautiful words. Hey, Zach, thank you so much for the reclass, the sharing, and for joining in, man. It really is means a lot to us because we love the community feeling. Alex is saying, sure, we're going to get you on for the podcast. And Maria said, I'm super grateful for tuning in today. I've gotten the passion from the both of you, and I feel the positive energy. It's awesome to hear the things you have talked about. Thanks again for the quick reading. Mwah. All right, now I'm handing you to Lee.
Thank you. And this is why we turn up every week, because of that. You know, shout out to Lisa. Lisa, what's her name?
Lisa Marriott.
Marriott. Lisa Marriott.
Yes, big shout out.
Big shout out, because almost every week I look forward to things that she writes when she reclouds our program. And thank you, because you are really giving us the inspiration and the energy to show up here and connect. So much love. And with love, I'm gonna sing this song to end our time together, and it's called Love Someone. It's written by the amazing Jason Mraz. He's got a lot of wonderful words. And I want to sing this because we were talking about sunlight earlier, as the archetype for the 13 days is yellow sun, and also the sun dances with the white dog, which is all about love, heart, loyalty. And this is called Love Someone. Love is a funny thing. Whenever I give it, it comes back to me. And it's wonderful to be giving with my whole heart as my heart receives your love. Oh, ain't it nice this life we found each other? And I am right beside you, more than just a partner or a lover. I'm your friend. When you love someone, heartbeat beats so loud. When you love someone, your feet can feel the ground. Shining stars all seem to congregate around your face. When you love someone, it comes back to you. And love is a funny thing. It's making my heart boom with energy. And it's like an awakened dream, 'cause what I've been wishing for is happening. And right on time. Oh, ain't it nice this life we've got each other? And I am right beside you, more than just a partner or a lover. I'm your friend. When you love someone, your heartbeat beats so loud. When you love someone, your feet can to you. We're gonna give ourselves to love tonight. I lift you up to touch the sunlight, and we will savor every second that we spend together, you and I will. We're gonna give ourselves to love tonight. I lift you up to touch the moonlight, and we will savor every second we suspend together, you and I will. You and I will. You and I will. When you love someone, your heartbeat beats so loud. When you love someone, your feet can't feel the ground. Shining stars all seem to congregate around your face. When you love someone, it comes back to you. May the love that we have continues this circle and cycle of life. As we give, so shall we receive, and as we receive, so shall we give. May the light be with